Welcome everyone. Myself Himanshu Khatri, and today we have with us Anjali Birla, and she has been able to clear the civil services in her first attempt, and that merits an applause, right? So we have her with us, and before I take any more time of you, Anjali, please introduce yourself to our viewers and any initial thoughts which you would like to share.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. I'm sure that it's every aspirant's dream to come on Vision and talk. Myself is Anjali. I did my schooling from Kota, Rajasthan, from Sophia School. Post that, I came to Delhi to do my graduation in political science honors from Ramjas College. And after that, I took a year gap and I prepared for civil services. And 2019 was my first attempt.
Okay, so let us structure our conversation. The first doubt that I have in my mind is what inspired you? Why did you decide that you're going to prepare for civil services? Was your, any senior who was there who had cleared it, which motivated you? Or was it any of your experience from your, growing up years? What motivated you for getting into the civil services?
So initially, I was very much intrigued about learning about India and economic issues, etc. So the course attracted me a lot. So I started with that. Then after that, I also wanted to be a very effective and efficient officer, and who has no bureaucratic hurdles, like who's very approachable, who's very accountable to the people. And I know that I'll be a very small part of the whole bureaucratic system, but that small part has to be very effective, efficient, accountable. So it's that thing that motivated me to be to be a very answerable person in the bureaucracy. And yes, growing up, I've always seen my family's been into public life and public service. So that has been a factor that, yes, my inclination has always been towards the social side. So all of these things combined motivated me that I should appear for civils.
So you must have witnessed, struggles of different, representatives of different sections of the society, and that would have motivated you to like get into the. Although it is a great challenge, bureaucratic, because of the system of accountability itself, actually. So I'm pretty sure that you will be able to, put in all of your efforts to get that system moving. Great.
That will be my endeavor.
Okay. And so one of the most important aspect is choice of the optional, right? So you have chosen political science and international relation. I think your background is also in that subject. Yes. So did that play a role or something else?
Yeah, I obviously did my graduation in pol science, so I was acquainted with the course and how would the structure of the course flow and the philosophies, etc. So I and but many people told me that I should take sociology because the course is limited, and because of international relations, there are a lot of the course is wide of pol science. But then there is also interest, which matters a lot in choosing your optional. And I knew that I have inclination towards political science because you have to invest a lot of time in optional. So it should not be that this subject should bore you. You should always be very much interested in it, and you should have a kind of political eye for taking pol science and kind of social eye for sociology. So you should be well versed with the subject and acquainted with it. You should have interest in it basically before choosing it.
And imagine I am a student who has great interest in botany, right? But when I look at the selections in the civil services, I feel that कि ना इस सब्जेक्ट से उतने लोग ना आ नहीं रहे हैं, तो फिर मैं उससे डिमोटिवेट हो जाता हूँ. तो मेरे जैसे एस्पिरेंट के लिए आपकी क्या राय होगी, क्या सुझाव होगा कि मैं अपना इंटरेस्ट ही फॉलो करूँ, या फिर हाँ ये चीज़ें सही में मैटर करती हैं कि सिलेक्शंस इस सब्जेक्ट से उतने नहीं हो रहे हैं?
So I feel that there are 2-3 things जो हमें माइंड में रखनी चाहिए before taking your option. First is कि आपका इंटरेस्ट है या नहीं है. That plays a major role. Second, course कितना बड़ा है, because you can't have like you can't give 4 years to preparing your optional. You have limited time. 4 months में course should get completed. So because you have to revise it again and again. So course limited होना चाहिए. And third, sources क्या है course के defined होने चाहिए. Like if you don't have good material of botany, then I would suggest don't go for botany, because अगर आपके पास good material नहीं होगा, what would you produce? So that should be there. Then fourth, I don't think so that UPSC selection wise में ये दिमाग में रखती है that botany से कम लेने हैं या इससे कम लेने हैं. That is just rumor. But what you can produce in the paper, वो marks उसी हिसाब से मिलेंगे. So this can be a possibility that botany का material कम है in the market और आपका course complete नहीं हो पा रहा. That is why people from botany are getting less selected. So keeping all of these 3 to 4 points in your mind, you should select your optional.
तो अब आपने तो मुझे और कंफ्यूज कर दिया. आपने कंफ्यूज मुझे ऐसे कर दिया कि अगर मैं इफ़ आई एम कम्प्लीटली अ बिगिनर, ठीक है, तो मेरे को कौन ये बताएगा कि इस सब्जेक्ट का सिलेबस ज़्यादा बड़ा है या फिर इस सब्जेक्ट का कोर्स जो है वो मैनेजेबल है. तो ये गाइडेंस मतलब आपको कहाँ से मिली, या फिर तो मतलब इन योर केस तो यू वर वेल वर्स्ड, बट लाइक आर देयर एनी relevant sources, relevant mediums through which a student he can get to know or she can get to know that in this aspect कि you know whether the syllabus it is manageable or it is like कि word of mouth से ही एक रहता है ना कि जैसे लोग in general कह देते हैं हिस्ट्री बहुत बड़ा है. तो कुछ है इसकी गाइडेंस कहीं पे?
I think आपको research करनी चाहिए on it. I also did not choose optional just like that. I reached out to my seniors who had pol science as their optional for civils. Because reading pol science in graduation आपका 3 years में divided है course, and यहाँ पे you have to do it in 4 months. So definitely you should seek out to your seniors if they have opted for it, or reach out on internet. I read a lot of blogs of people who have cleared it from PSIR, and then read the syllabus of UPSC and past year question papers. ज़रूर पढ़ने चाहिए. Before selecting optional, I read past years question papers, whether I'm able to make sense of them or not. एकदम ही मतलब if it is like कि I cannot make sense of it, तो फिर then you should take a rational choice obviously. And then yes, seek out there are coaching institutes also. Just look out if there's a pioneer in the everybody is following it, and if there's a pioneer in your subject, reach out to them and take a calculative choice.
Because I remember कि I think Vision IAS has this mentorship kind of a thing where such kind of guidance can be provided. So I was looking at that were you having access to those any guidance or something like that. Okay, I think that's very important. And question papers, yes, definitely one should have a look at it. उससे एक idea लगता है कि क्या है, कितने tough questions आ रहे हैं, I'm getting a sense out of it or not. Great. ठीक है, so next अब आ जाते हैं prelims पे. राइट, सो प्रीलिम्स की आप हमें स्ट्रैटेजी बताइए, क्योंकि नाउडेज इट इज सेड कि प्रीलिम्स क्रैक करना बहुत मुश्किल हो गया है बिकॉज द काइंड ऑफ ऑप्शंस विच द यूपीएससी थ्रोज एट यू दे आर वेरी कन्फ्यूजिंग, एंड अ स्टूडेंट मतलब इन माई ओपिनियन हैज़ टू हैव अ वेरी कीन बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग टू फाइंड दैट नुएंसेस दैट ओके ये वाला ऑप्शन करेक्ट है और ये वाला ऑप्शन नहीं करेक्ट है. तो आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी क्या थी प्रीलिम्स से रिलेटेड और किस तरीके से आपने प्रीलिम्स को अप्रोच किया?
So I totally feel that prelims is the hardest part in this exam process. Mains काफ़ी grilling है, but prelims is hard to crack because almost like 6 lakh people appear every year and 12 to 13,000 people get selected for mains. तो कितनी कम percentage of people are passing. But so I had almost an year before I started my preparation, before my attempt for June. So I divided that till December I was doing my optional as well, and I was doing prelims ka static part. So prelims ka static part was complete 2 to 3 times. No, 1 time, 1.5 time almost 2 times before December, and optional was completed 2 times, and I did a little bit of answer writing so I could manage a little mains, but I did not study world history etc before that क्योंकि काफ़ी limited time हो जाता है and you have to complete the course. And then from January my focus was entirely on prelims. Okay. So June was the attempt and January also. I attempted almost 100 mocks, 100 test series, 100 mock tests, and which are very effective. So you have to maintain कि आपको prelims basically factual game है. बहुत सारी चीज़ें आपको रटनी पड़ती है. So you have to revise it again and again. So I'm not a person who makes notes. I'm more of a person who highlights in the book and reads it again and again and tries to memorize it. So always know your strength. Just because anybody else is saying कि notes नहीं बनाओगे तो होगा ही नहीं, तो don't just play the tunes of everybody else. Play your own drum. Be the captain of your own ship. So I did not make notes. I highlighted in the book, and then I revised at least the static portion 5 times before appearing for prelims. I did 100 tests, and I used to 1.5 hour I used to do the test, and then the other 1.5 hour I used to check it and used to do those जो explanations दी हुई होती हैं. I did 50 tests. I think the Vision only releases 50 tests. I did all of Visions, and they were great. And rest I took Insight on India's little sleepy classes were of online tests the unke, and Vajiram. So all of these coaching institutes I did, and then you have to revise those tests also 3 times, because if you don't revise, then you will make the same mistake again. So this was my strategy, more or less,
नहीं,
like in a
मतलब
wide
मैं
sketch.
थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज हो रहा हूँ.
अच्छा, okay.
आपने ओवरऑल
जी,
कितने मॉक टेस्ट दिए प्रीलिम से पहले?
100, almost 100.
100.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, so since January, every day I used to write a mock.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
And then the analysis part also, because
Analysis part also.
many of the students, they feel that, you know, they get confused that if I have 3 hours, तो whether to test myself in the form of a mock या फिर यार मैं एक चैप्टर प्रिपेयर कर लेता हूँ ना, वो मेरा एक चैप्टर पेंडिंग है. But you were pretty clear that writing the mock test is the answer
Yeah.
to getting exam ready.
Yeah. मतलब आपके पास 12 घंटे हैं वो दिन में where you are actually studying. तो आप 12 घंटे को डिवाइड कर लो. Divide it into like 3 hours one subject, 3 hours another subject. Then also you have 3 hours. That will only make 9 hours. And then 3 hours मतलब मैं current affairs को लिए रखती थी, vision, booklet, etc. And any other part जो मुझे लगे कि मेरा week चल रहा हो. And map work I did extensively. So all of these things for 3 hours. तो फिर भी आपके पास 3 घंटे तो बचे हैं ना to give that.
हाँ, but it's a psychological battle ना, ऐसे मतलब really मतलब hats off to you that you were able to manage it, because I have also undergone through the process of preparation, and easier said than done कि you know there are 12 hours. It takes really some kind of a mental grit to
Yeah.
actually be able to follow that, because like when I was a student, I used to feel, you know, overwhelmed by the syllabus which is yet to be completed. So there was a phase when I could not take out time to write mocks, because I was mentally feeling that अभी यार मॉक लिख के मतलब देयर इज नो पॉइंट, बिकॉज जब मेरा सिलेबस ही पूरा नहीं है तो मैं मॉक क्यों लिखूं.
या सो वही मेंटल प्रिपरेशन आपको करनी चाहिए, आपको काफ़ी अच्छे से स्ट्रैटेजाइज करना चाहिए. सो आई टोल्ड यू दैट दिसंबर से पहले एटलीस्ट 1 to 1.5 times माई कोर्स वॉज कम्प्लीटेड फॉर प्रीलिम्स स्टैटिक पार्ट. एंड फिर जैन से आई कुड डिवोट टाइम टू मॉक्स, एंड आई वॉज वेरी पर्टिकुलर अबाउट वट एवर आई डिड. आई रिमेंबर मैं 2-3 बार बीमार पड़ी वाइल दैट प्रिपरेशन टाइम. तब भी आई वॉज लाइक चलो आज 8 घंटे पढ़ लो, बट देयर इज़ नो मोर रिलैक्सेशन. आई डिड नॉट अटेंड एनी फंक्शन. There was lots of things happening at home. I did not go out. Papa's election was there. I did not attend it. I did not attend absolutely. I was completely underground. That is why I'm so scared of another attempt because it takes a lot. But yeah, it's because if you are completely prepared for the exam, then even if you don't crack it, you have that confidence in you that you gave your best. So that satisfaction should be there.
And even when you are like not well, still you kept at it.
Yeah.
If not 12 hours, then at least 5 hours. 8
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. Don't break that flow.
That's like commendable. I mean, hats off.
Thank
Actually, that
you.
text means a lot of self-determination was there. That's great. And any sources for prelims? Like people usually get confused at whether to limit ourselves to the NCRTs or we should take any other source. Then there is the issue of current affairs, that what sources we should refer to for prelims. So what was your strategy for sources of prelims?
So static portion तो है ही लक्ष्मीकांत पॉलिटी के लिए and spectrum for modern history etc. But I would focus on the current affair part because I think that I did it differently than others. So a lot of people focus on newspaper reading and they're like newspaper is the break of it. If you don't read it, then you wouldn't get clear it. I didn't read newspapers. For entire 1 year, I didn't read newspaper. I completely relied on Vision IS. And that's also because, firstly, a big thank you. I've always thanked Ajay sir personally also, that they do such a great work at compiling current affairs in that booklet, of which is of 60 to 70, 80 pages. And it's a commendable job. When they are taking the effort, then why to do that effort? on your own. And current affairs I used to read, so say एक महीने बाद रिलीज होती है ना of that. So अगर जून की है तो I'll do May's. So May's current affairs I'll do in June, and then I'll also revise April and March. So and 1 month's current affair I'll do 3 times in that very month, so that it just stays in my mind. So then there was no gap in current affairs. So that was my strategy for current affairs, and I kept revising it. And because I got so comfortable with the vision, and because of that, I continued that in mains also. So I relied on mains current affairs booklets, and usually I feel like those aspirants wait for those जो बड़ी मोटी बुक आती है, I'm forgetting it's 365. Current Affairs 365. So Vision releases it at the end of the year. Yeah, it's very late to catch up. I feel every month you should be very thorough with current affairs. And instead of wasting 2 to 3 hours in your newspaper and you don't even get the past history of that subject on the newspaper. So when Vision is doing all of that work, why not take benefit of it? So that was my strategy. But I would also suggest that I used to read newspapers for mains. So newspaper reading is important for mains, and that too, that opinion page and the editorial page, and try to maintain notebooks for mains. And you should have like content of say 4 to 5 pages on every topic of mains, so that आपके पास whatever question they ask, you have something to write.
So means ki for the static portion you were not making notes, but as far as the current affairs was concerned, you try to organize your preparation in form of topics, and on each topic you would be having roughly 4 to 5 pages. So
Yes,
there you
for
did,
mains.
For mains.
Yeah.
So there you did some effort on the note making side.
Yes, absolutely.
And that would have provided you clarity that okay, in this GS1 and in this portion of GS1 or GS3, these are the major important topics. That would have helped you in essay also, I think.
Yeah, I did make notes for essay as well. And streamline हो जाता है आपका preparation for mains, because mains prelims का आप syllabus देखेंगे UPSC का, it's not detailed at all. They've just written history, modern the geography, just like that. But if you see UPSC's main syllabus, it is so detailed. They have given topics. They've literally given cybersecurity and its issues and all of these things. So agriculture and its impact on economy. So then they have given a detailed syllabus. So on every topic you can prepare comprehensively.
हाँ, मतलब उसमें एक स्पेसिफिसिटी आ जाती है. और इससे पहले मैं भूलना चाहूँ, एक और मुझे चीज़ आपसे पूछनी थी. दैट वाज रिलेटेड टू, सो दिस इज लाइक योर प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रैटेजी. 2 aspects. One aspect related to exam, and second aspect related to preparation. The one related to preparation I'll ask first. That is, did you segregate the preparation for mains? Because you have segregated the notes. But did you also segregate the preparation for mains and the prelims? Meaning, were you reading different sources for mains and different sources for prelims? क्या आपने कुछ ऐसा सोचा? And plus time wise also, क्या आपने ऐसा सोचा कि अच्छा ये 3 महीना मैं प्रीलिम्स की तैयारी कर रही हूँ, ठीक है, और उसके बाद मैं मेंस की तैयारी करूँगी. एंड सेकंड पॉइंट, क्या आपने ऐसा सोचा कि ये वाली बुक्स मेरी प्रीलिम्स के लिए हैं और ये वाली बुक्स मेरी मेंस के लिए? क्या ऐसा सेग्रीगेटेड था कुछ, या एक इंटीग्रेटेड था कि हम पढ़ रहे हैं, अगर हम हिस्ट्री पढ़ रहे हैं तो हाँ ज़्यादा एलैबोरेशन के साथ मेंस में लिखना होगा, और जब प्रीलिम्स के एंगल से पढ़ रहे हैं तो इसके जो फैक्चुअल पार्ट्स हैं उन पे ज़्यादा फोकस? तो आपकी क्या स्ट्रैटेजी थी उसमें?
It's a mix of both.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to rely on the static portion for mains as well, and you have to obviously defer it for your prelims. So वो तो आपका रहता ही है, main books like लक्ष्मीकांत रहेगी आपकी, स्पेक्ट्रम रहेगी, मेंस तक भी रहेगी. But then you have to add on also into it. So world history जैसे नया subject आ जाता है for mains. So वो addition and everything चलता रहता है. So before this December, I was doing mains also, and I had an integrated approach. But since January, then I was completely focused on prelims, remembering the facts, remembering everything. And as I said, that current affairs I relied on Vision. तो वो काफ़ी material they give you for mains. इतनी सारी reports की studies are well covered in these current affairs booklets, and so much of data is there. So I picked up data from there only.
Okay.
So in that way, it's an integrated approach. But then after you've cleared prelims, then you have those 2 to 3 months wherein you have to completely focus yourself to mains. I think the beauty of mains is that there you have the liberty that you can write whatever you know.
Yeah.
Prelims में वो liberty नहीं
वो
है.
liberty नहीं है.
Prelims में either you know it or you don't know it. But mains में you can write something or the other. So you should take that liberty which GPSC is giving, and you should have prepared your own notes, like थोड़ा तो material you should have it of your own. काफ़ी रिपोर्ट्स एंड डेटा एंड ऑल ऑफ दीज, इनका भी एक अलग से सेगमेंट मैंने बना रखा था जिसमें बिकॉज यू नीड टू गिव फैक्ट्स ऑल्सो. सो डू ऑल ऑफ दैट एंड यू कैन ऑब्वियसली पिक आउट दोज थिंग्स फ्रॉम विजन के करंट अफेयर्स, और यू कैन पिक आउट फ्रॉम योर स्टैटिक पोर्शन ऑल्सो, एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो एड ऑन फ्रॉम न्यूज़पेपर्स के ओपिनियन एंड एडिटोरियल्स, बिकॉज इन मेन्स आपके ओपिनियंस भी पूछे जाते हैं. यू हैव टू हैव अ बैलेंस्ड व्यू. सो इट्स अ मोर और लेस एन इंटीग्रेटेड अप्रोच ओनली, बट थोड़ा सा आउटलुक यू हैव टू चेंज फॉर प्रीलिम्स एंड फॉर मेन्स.
आई एम अ क्रिकेट फैन, तो जितना मेरे को समझ में आया आपने क्या कहा, आपने कहा कि व्हेन यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग इन द नेट्स देन यू आर बेसिकली फोकसिंग ऑन योर क्रिकेट, मीनिंग ऑन योर सब्जेक्ट, irrespective of the format, that whether the game is T20 or test match, you are preparing, you're sharpening your subject. But maybe 3 months before a T20 series, that is your prelims, your focus will change. You will change your approach towards looking at the very same subject. And maybe 3 months before your test match, that is your mains, you will focus more on the elaborative part of the subjects. Okay. एक और चीज़ मुझे है, मतलब ये मेरे को डाउट हमेशा रहता है, मतलब टू बिगिन विद हमेशा था. You have mentioned that in prelims, a lot of facts, they come into play. You talked about different reports and their explanation. So should a student who is just a beginner, should she focus upon the why part of the things? Because usually what we feel is, for example, when we are reading spectrum for history, then our immediate focus becomes that, okay, in which year, which particular organization led which particular revolt or which particular movement. But why did they do so? The why component of it, maybe which comes more into play in your mains questions when UPSC asks the main question. So, while preparing, should the student simply start making notes or start focusing on these factual parts, or in the beginning he should or she should focus more upon the why part, and maybe later on, once the why part is clear, then you deal with the facts? How is it? How was your take on it? Because I'm sure you would also have got overwhelmed by so much facts.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like you have to understand the thing. आपको रटने के लिए भी समझना तो पड़ेगा. So you do have to understand the why part. So firstly, have a general reading. In that you understand. I remember there was a question on Gandhiji in prelims, and it was not there in any book that Gandhiji supported World War I. No spectrum has written it. Nowhere it was written. But because I had understood कि गांधी जी क्या सोच रहे होंगे उस टाइम पे, what is that general image of Gandhi ji at that time, so I could answer that question कि yes, he would have supported Britishers in First World War.
He went on a recruitment drive. He wanted people to...
Yeah. The question was based on that only, but it was not there explicitly written in any book, right? Which I had referred to. But then that's, you can answer, so you can attempt prelims better if you know the why part. So you can put out your reasoning, connect the dots, and then realize कि okay, because prelims में no matter how much you study, you can only know 30 to 40% of the questions. Rest of the questions you're going to be blank, and then it's more of the fact that आपको कितना उसका background पता है, कितना आप उसको connect कर पा रहे हो dots, and then कितना आप sense बना सकते हो of the question. And so you should obviously not read with a blank eye and बस रट्टू तोता नहीं बनना है. You are becoming a civil servant. You have to know the why part. You have to be rational. You have to be logical. So definitely I think that you should start with the why part, and then obviously आपको ये तो याद करना ही पड़ेगा काजीरंगा कहाँ पे है. अब वो change नहीं होगा, तो थोड़ा बहुत तो रटाफाई करना ही पड़ता है.
मेरे ख्याल से आपको जो मैप वर्क था वो आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत बढ़ाता होगा.
क्योंकि
अगर हम सिंपली लिखा हुआ शब्द पढ़ रहे हैं तो काजीरंगा यहाँ पे है, बट अगर आप उसको विजुलाइज कर पा रहे हैं ऑन अ मैप, आई थिंक दैट वुड बी अ वेरी हेल्पफुल.
And there are many questions in prelims that they ask that if you're going from here and there, so how many parks will you cross, and all of these things. So you have to be thorough with map. It helps a lot. So yeah, that's perfect.
Great. Second question, maybe my third आ गया. Third question which I wanted to ask about the exam related strategy. Since you have given so many mocks, so were you able to devise one of your own strategy that I'm going to attempt these many questions, or I'm not going to attempt more than these questions? मतलब what was, because some people say that we should maximize the number of questions we are attempting, or you didn't have any plan, you were just giving mocks, and when you attended the prelims, then on the spot you took a decision. How it was for it?
So while giving mocks, they give you an idea. आपको अपनी strength पता चलती है. And I feel like this is important for the entire exam preparation. Always play your strength. Don't get divided by whatever the people are saying. So many people used to say कि 90 questions तो attempt करने ही करने हैं, otherwise नहीं होगा. But when I looked at prelims paper, I was like 90 नहीं हो पाएंगे. This is there are so many questions I have no clue about, and I'd rather skip them than to make a wild guess. So I attempted the questions in which I was 50% sure of the answer, 50% I was confused. But none of the questions I attempted in which I was 100% clueless. But there are people who are hell-bent on completing that these number of questions have to be attempted. So they'll let you, because prelims have negative marking.
Yes.
You have to keep that factor in mind. But yes, I had a fair idea that I should at least attempt 80 questions, because up calculation, obviously you draw down that calculation that 20 marks you're leaving, and then for negative honge, etc. So mocks give that idea a lot. I used to calculate all the marks in my mocks. I don't used to just leave it like that. So that gave me an idea that, okay, when I'm attempting 85, but I'm clueless in 50% of them, so that's giving me a bad score. But when I'm attempting 80 questions, but I'm sure of like 50% sure of the answers, then also I'm making it to the mark. So that helped me to make a choice beforehand. So I was prepared. So I attempted 80 questions in my prelims, and I did that same for CSAT. Didn't prepare so much for CSAT, a week or two. But
But you are from art background.
yeah.
So was not CSAT like a threat to you? Like
It's basic maths. I'm not that poor in maths, but I had maths till 12th class. I had
Okay.
arts plus maths,
okay.
and so 1 to 2 weeks is fine because it's English also, so that's okay. And but the CSAT काफी difficult हो रहा है आजकल. I've heard like many of my engineer friends have failed CSAT. That came as a shock to me, but yeah, so prepare beforehand.
Yeah, actually, I'm also an engineer, so maths we study till 12th only. So once you get into college, after that it's less of maths and more about theories and application of those theories. So that's why, I mean, in the defense of engineers.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, but 1 to 2 weeks is enough, and then फिर उसके भी थोड़े बहुत exams दे दो आप, so that you get an idea.
जी, ठीक है. तो उसके बाद फिर मेंस के रिगार्डिंग, मतलब मेंस के रिगार्डिंग कोई पर्टिकुलर आपके डिफरेंट सोर्सेज थे, या फिर और ऑप्शनल के आपके, हाउ टू प्रिपेयर फॉर द ऑप्शनल, तो मेंस के पर्सपेक्टिव में आपसे ये दो चीज़ें जानना चाहेंगे.
I had pol science as my optional, so Shubhra Ranjan ma'am is a pioneer in it. Hands down to her. So I completely relied on her for paper 1, and for international relations also I relied on her, which I think I did wrong. You cannot completely rely on international relations because obviously it's a dynamic nature. The subject is dynamic, so it keeps on evolving, and you have to have a lot of other sources. I used to refer to all these online magazines, but still it was less. I would say that prepare extensively for IR. IR's paper was pretty tough also this time, last time. So that's there. Then give test series. I gave test series for optional also, and rest.
लाइक सोर्सेस, मतलब कोई पर्टिकुलर कोई फेमस किताबें हैं पॉलिटिकल साइंस एंड इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन में जो आपने रेफ़र करी, आप कहेंगे कि रेफ़र करना चाहिए?
Pol science, I refer to Shubhra Ranjan ma'am's notes, and then IR Foreign Affairs magazine is there. There's Diplomat, Caravan, RSTV also gives it.
Foreign Affairs is a very brilliant magazine. I mean,
Yeah,
it gives very good analysis.
Yeah, gives very good analysis. So I refer to all of these sources for IR. Should have referred more.
Okay.
That's the thing I would say to other aspirants. And yeah, so otherwise ma'am covers extensively the paper 1 part. You can rely on her with eyes closed. She covers it extensively.
Good.
And for your sources for your the general studies part?
GS were static जो prelims था. Then there are mains notebooks which Vision releases. I referred to them a lot.
Okay.
And Vision current affairs because I knew that I have to play my strength. There are only 2 to 3 months that you get, and you have to cover subjects like cybersecurity and these world history, etc. So these are new subjects that you have to cover in those 2 to 3 months. So you can't leave what you have learned in prelims. You have to carry that along with you, and then you have to complete all these subjects which get add on in your mains. And the rest I did note making. So I did make notes which I can cover in those 2 hours in between the papers, because you have GS1 and then after 2 hours you have GS2. So you should have concise notes. So I made notes for keeping that in mind. And for every topic I had at least 4 to 5 pages of content. I referred to internet extensively for that. Yeah, those were my major sources.
Means in your preparation, you focused more on the dynamic part of the things like current affairs, and you try to, from the sense that I'm getting is that you all sort of try to link the static with the dynamic part.
Yeah,
right?
you have to, because the questions that are asked in mains, they were so open-ended. So you can write anything in that in those questions. So वो आपको दिमाग में रखना पड़ता है, and you also have to understand what is UPSC asking. I remember there were questions in GS2. I wrote it from a completely different perspective. I asked my person sitting next to me, in front of me. He wrote it from a private sector perspective. I wrote it from a government sector perspective.
Okay.
So there's such open-ended questions which are being asked in mains. So answer writing तो आपको करनी ही है, but उसके साथ साथ आपको you have to make sense of the questions.
Even in static subjects, for example, like this year, if you look at the question which has come from modern Indian history, it asks you, I think if I'm right, it asks you to deliberate upon that during which different phases, the different sections of the society, they gradually became part of Indian national movement. That means you need to have a perspective of whole Indian national movement. You cannot simply just, ratify and do that. You have to have a perspective.
You have to have a perspective.
So dynamicity is there in even the static subjects.
Yeah. And इतना factual होना ज़रूरी नहीं है जितना prelims में होना ज़रूरी है. For mains, because अब देखो broad questions पूछे जाते हैं. So you can take that liberty and make the flow of the question according to yourself, And that's brilliant that you can do. That you have 2 sheets, you can tell your thought process to the person. So आपको उस way में ना attempt करना चाहिए mains, I think. So इसलिए आपको खुद का अपना note making is very important in mains.
And आपने मेंशन किया था कि आपने टेस्ट सीरीज भी करी इसके लिए. तो आपने मतलब जीएस और करंट मतलब जीएस और ऑप्शनल दोनों के लिए टेस्ट सीरीज आपने किया?
Yeah, I joined test series. I used to give a test every 3rd day during mains preparation. So earlier I thought that I should write 5 questions every day. But then later on I felt that it's the time which is actually important, that you have to write 20 questions in 3 hours. Yes. And then that time you come to know कि आप 250 words कितना लिख पाते हो, कितना आप retain कर पाते हो, कितना आप produce कर पाते हो. So then I used to write every 3rd day. I was there enrolled in Vision, and thankfully Vision used to check my copies also. They have the system very brilliantly system that it's very streamlined system, and the feedback is also very good. So I used to reflect upon the feedback also. So I joined at Vision, and there's this test series I cannot underline enough how important it was, the Abhyas, Vision Abhyas. So it was 2 days, I think. It was a 2 days test series. It was 1 month before actual mains, wherein it was just like mains. GS1 subah 9 to 12 and 2 to 5 GS2 and GS3 and GS. So it is important for first timers like me. I had no clue कि कैसा लगता है actual exam hall में feel करते. And when you have to give 4 exams in those 2 days, how do you feel? So that tells you so much, that how much you can write. You may read n number of sources, but how much can you write in that time? And people are going to give you marks according to that. And then I scored pretty decent in those Abhyas series, so वो मुझे confidence भी दिया. That even if I used to write and feel very dejected that my answers are not up to the par, because we are very critical of ourselves. Yes. So we would feel dejected many times that no, it's not coming up to the par. But then when I used to score decently in these test series, so I used to feel comfortable. It's like, okay, it's fine.
And your marks improve. Probably the first test that you would have given, you would not have fared that well, and it improves with every test. Your marks improve.
Yeah. and because you reflect upon the feedback and you come to know ki, what is the examiner asking of you, and which is one thing which is also very important is that you read a lot of toppers answers. उनसे भी आपको बहुत आइडिया लगता है that how should your answer be, what extra are they doing to get into the list, right? And you can compare your answers with them, and then you can reorient your writing structure, because you can't completely change your writing structure. You just have 2.5 months to prepare for mains. So but you can at least reorient it to what exactly the examiner is liking, and it is tried and tested. They have cleared it, so why not take use of it?
नहीं वो है और आपकी मतलब इससे आई एम गेटिंग टू थिंग्स इनटू माय माइंड द फर्स्ट एस्पेक्ट इज दैट यू हैव मेंशन्ड दैट इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू like how much you can write to get a sense that how much you can write in this much amount of time. So what is the right strategy? Like should I attempt 60% questions or 80% of the questions with good content with my best, or I should focus upon completing the test paper? Like what is the right approach in mains?
I think you should go by what is right for you. Because a lot of people told me अगर 20 के 20 नहीं करे तो नहीं होगा. I spoke to many officers also, they told me the same thing. But I realized writing test that I can only attempt 19. 20 होता ही नहीं है किसी पेपर में. एक छूटता हमेशा. तो फिर I felt like dejected. I was like कैसे होगा? But then in the test when I was scoring pretty well, so I thought that okay, it's fine. So in these actual exams also I wrote 19 only. 20 नहीं होता था. But फिर I did not feel demoralized कि अब 20th attempt ही नहीं करा तो नहीं होगा. But obviously don't leave like 5 questions. But it's okay if you cannot complete all 20 of them. But write good content in 17 of them at least.
मैंने तो क्या किया था, मतलब मैं क्या करता कि अगर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन रह रहा है, 2 क्वेश्चन रह रहा है, तो उसमें लास्ट के बस 5 मिनट्स में मैं कुछ बस फ्लो चार्ट सा बना दूंगा. ठीक है, कुछ तो दे देंगे. ठीक है.
हाँ, वो मैं 2-3 में करती थी ऑलरेडी. उसके बाद भी मैं बोल रही हूँ एक तो रह ही जाता था.
So basically हर किसी का अपना
अप्रोच है. आप डिमोरलाइज मत होइए. मतलब एवरीबॉडी यूज्ड टू से कि डायग्राम्स बनाओ, मैप्स बनाओ, फ्लो चार्ट बनाओ. मुझसे बनते ही नहीं है, आता ही नहीं. बिकॉज आई एम एन आर्ट स्टूडेंट, आई एम मोर इनटू राइटिंग देन आई एम इनटू मेकिंग फ्लो चार्ट्स एंड एवरीथिंग. एंड देन सो बट देन आई रियलाइज you cannot change your writing skill in those limited time. So you have to play your strength. That's what I'm stressing on. Everybody has a different way of and that shows your personality also. So why not play by that?
And yeah, a very diverse set of people, they clear UPSC for that very same reason. UPSC is very magnanimous with respect to taking different styles,
yes,
into
absolutely.
perspective. Right. The second aspect that I wanted to know is you also talked about structure. So what was your structure? And you have mentioned your writing style also. So at times, for example, certain people, they might be comfortable that I simply write in a bullet format point or like in a point format. So according to you, is it like necessary that we write in paragraph form, or how do you use to structure your answers, or any thought process that okay, in the introduction part I'm going to highlight the overall problem, and then I'm going to peel each layer in every paragraph, and then हर किसी का अपना होता है. आपका क्या strategy था इस चीज़ को लेके?
I followed this introduction, give a broad, underline the broad thing that the question is asking. And secondly, the second part used to be the main body, wherein I used to give, and my idea was that I should give the best points first. So, and then I used to underline them, and if possible I used to write in points sometimes, and sometimes in paragraph if it is making more sense. And then lastly I used to try to make it give a little bit of my opinion into it. Not like truly my opinion, some verified person's opinion, yes. As my opinion, but a very balanced approach पे answer end करना. So it would be to, for and a very balanced approach पे answer end करना. That was my structuring.
It's valid also. So you're not very rigid about, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि कोई question ऐसा है that there you can go with a point format, you would go with the point format. किसी दूसरे क्वेश्चन में you're feeling more comfortable with a
writing in paragraphs. So yeah, write in paragraphs.
तो कुछ ऐसा rigid नहीं है, right?
नहीं, no rigid. But I usually used to keep it in mind कि best points जो मेरे दिमाग में है वो पहले ही आ जाएं.
और best points मतलब कि जिन points के बारे में हमें बहुत अच्छा पता है, जिनको हम अपनी तरफ से बहुत अच्छा एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं.
अब आपके पास 2 पेज होते, थोड़े बहुत तो फालतू पॉइंट्स लिखने पड़ते हैं. आपको भी पता है, आप पेज भर रहे हो तो वो चीज़ इतना हाईलाइट ना हो, बट योर वैलिड पॉइंट्स गेट हाईलाइटेड.
Okay.
And it should be easy for the examiner to read the question paper. So when I used to, इसलिए toppers की आप जब copies answer copies पढ़ते हैं तब you realize and you compare कि okay this is easier and that is why they are scoring more. So that helps you a lot.
And I think when you read the toppers' copies, you find that things are actually very simply written,
Simply written, yeah.
easily graspable. So, what do you think? मतलब role of language तो है आपके हिसाब से कि हम ऐसे में कॉम्प्लेक्स लैंग्वेज का इस्तेमाल करें या फिर अपने नॉर्मल ऑप्शनल में कुछ हम हाई फाई वर्ड्स का इस्तेमाल करें, ऐसा कुछ है या क्या क्या चीज़ से मार्क्स मिलता है मेंस में? लैंग्वेज से कितना मिलता है और बाकी चीज़ से कितना मिलता है?
Whatever your language is, be it Hindi or English, there's no hierarchy in it. But it's attractive when you have command of your language, definitely. And and it helps in your essay. But you don't have to use jargons basically because it should be readable and accessible to the person who's checking it. But technically भी थोड़ी strong होनी चाहिए आपकी language, तो वो थोड़ी attractive तो लगती है. So बस technically थोड़ी आपकी अच्छी language होनी चाहिए. And in essay, I think the beauty of essay is that you get a lot of space to write your thoughts. Which in otherwise GS it's limited to 250 words. So वहाँ पे what language will you show or what creativity will you show? But in essay you can show your creativity, your thought process, what you like, what is your take on that particular subject. And right nowadays UPSC is giving a lot of philosophical essay topics. So that can be interpreted in n number of ways. And whatever interpreted, it's your take, it's your
Exactly.
it's your innovation.
हाँ मतलब कुछ क्वेश्चंस तो मतलब ऐसे आए कि मतलब जैसे यू वर मेंशनिंग दैट योर one of your colleagues, he was writing from the private sector perspective.
Yeah.
So I think that was an essay only or kuch
That
kisi
was
aur
in
mein?
GS2.
That was in GS2.
But there was an essay I scored 144, which is like decent score. So I wrote one about AI and its future, and the other essay was a philosophical essay. So it was a philosophical essay, but I took India's history as an example and I weaved my essay giving that philosophy कैसे वो philosophy का जो उसका part था कि वो कैसे इंडिया ने सीखी, and I took like entire Indian history into it. So I weaved the essay like that. I particularly liked it. So, but I'm just saying that you have an open space कि आप कितने creative हो सकते हो. And AI में I used a storyline and I weaved the essay in a storyline. So it was a fictional story, and यहाँ पे it was an example of an Indian history as an example. So that kind of creativity can be shown in essay, and for that also you have to practice.
Yes, writing is very important.
एकदम से नहीं आएगा.
स्ट्रक्चरिंग में मतलब ऐसे में जैसे बहुत लोग ऐसे करते हैं कि मतलब you went at it or you basically tried to draw some kind of a basic structure outline and then you approach the essay.
Yeah, definitely drawn an outline. I took half an hour.
Okay.
Wherein I structured कि पहले ये आएगा and what examples will I use in the essay, because philosophical essay you can't just keep on bashing about the same.
प्लस फिर स्ट्रक्चर आपका बड़ा अजीब सा हो जाएगा अगर आपको नहीं पता है कि मैं कैसे उस चीज़ को बांध रही हूँ.
Yeah.
Right.
You should know कि okay, this example I'm using, then this example I'm using. Philosophical essays, I think many people find it very difficult to attempt. And nowadays what they're doing in essays like A section, B section. तो A section में चारों philosophical वाले topics हैं. So you have no choice but to attempt it.
Yeah.
So in that case, you should take examples. And I took Indian history and world history. So weaved it. So in that way, it becomes interesting. सिर्फ वो अंदर random example नहीं होते. So take your half an hour. I took half an hour for the first essay and the second essay. So that gives a good structure to your answer, and prepare for essay also. I had a notebook for essay, quotes and simple essays like health, education, सब पे तो essay सब prepare करते ही हैं. But otherwise also have a quote book, have some example book that you can use. And I wrote almost like 6 to 7 essays.
But one thing which is very appreciable, which I'm noticing, is that you're a first attempter, right? And you have your optional as political science and international relation. And usually in the essay, we have a tendency to use examples from our optional. For example, like my optional was public administration or psychology. So basically, by default, what comes into our mind is that if I have to give examples or if I have to weave a story or an outline in the essay, then maybe I can use my optional. But in your case, I mean, that's really speaks about your versatility, that you I mean, you picked up Indian history, world history, so that's very commendable. Commendable, actually. Not many are able to actually do that. Okay, so specifically for essay, what was your approach? You said that you prepared separate notes for essay. So like, क्या था? Were you collecting certain stories from the media, real stories, or were you collecting some quotes by some great men? How it was?
Yeah, I did. I collected quotes and a lot of political science theories also I used, and stories, real life stories also. And I read a lot of toppers' essays and tried to imbibe from them. I wrote 5 to 6 test series of essays, so almost like every essay, 12 essays I wrote. So I came to know my style of writing and
Okay.
what my mind thinks, and I used to. And these are the tests that I wrote, but many topics I prepared mentally, that
Okay.
what all I'm going to write in it. And then I extensively I used Evernote for it, so I digitally maintained all my notes. So then it was easier. You can just copy paste it and then re-revise it again and again. And essay preparation also helps in ethics. तो overlapping तो है ही सही.
Okay. So social issues आपको भी help आ गया होगा वहाँ से, मतलब for example if you are preparing social issues for the society part of GS, then
That
उसको
can be
use
there.
करना.
Data use हो सकता है, GS3 का data use हो सकता
तो मतलब बेसिकली हम लोग को essay के लिए, मतलब do we need to prepare separately for essay, or we prepare our general studies and our optional in a decent manner, just that while writing the essay we like pick things from different, can this approach work?
Yeah, of course, it can work as well. And collect some quotes, speeches, and they are interesting to read also. So, collect those examples and mentally frame essays as many as you can. If you have short of time, if you're short of time, can't write as many essays, mentally you can frame, then you can come to know ki, acha, what all am I thinking for that particular essay. That helps a lot, and that covers a lot of topics in essays. So AI I was prepared before only because because I had written an essay on AI already, and and there was a mental map for that philosophical essay. So I was prepared for those because I had to prepare so many topics. No? So kitne hi topics, you can preempt some of the topics. So in that way it helps that you are already prepared. So I was not completely taken aback.
This fact is definitely right. I mean, if you actually focus the why approach, that is, if there is any issue in the media and editorials are being written about it, and then you basically categorize it, or for any issue, then it's not tough. Actually, I would say 30-40% of the paper which comes, it comes from the notes of the students. They have learned about it. ऐसा नहीं है that out of syllabus या bouncer कुछ आ गया, ऐसा
Prelims बहुत bouncer होता है, mains इतना नहीं
Mains
होता.
नहीं होता है वही. Okay, and right. So essay का हो गया. Apart from that, any book, like any source for, like you were collecting quotes. So did you use like internet use किया, या फिर there are certain good books which can help you with quotes also, maybe with essay also, ethics also. कोई ऐसा, मतलब, are you into reading books?
Yeah, I read books, but I majorly relied on internet only. It's easier. Abraham Lincoln quotes लिख दो, समझ जाएंगे. मैं तो एकदम copy paste. Yeah, so that's there. There are other Anudeep Durushetty sir's essays, notes are also there. So I took his help from there, and his ethics notes are also there. They're available in Rajendra Nagar, so I took help from them also.
That's actually smart work. Great. Okay. So apart from this, your how did you feel? Did you feel the pressure while writing mains? सबसे ज़्यादा tough क्या था? Was interview the toughest, or mains or prelims? Examination temperament सबसे ज़्यादा challenge कहाँ हुआ आपका? कब हाथ काँप रहे थे कुछ उस तरीके से?
Prelims में I saw the paper, मैं ऐसे flip करती गई, I was like, चलो बंद कर दिया. I was like, ये बिल्कुल out of world है. Because first reading में ऐसा ही लगता है. I'm sure most of my friends also felt the same. But then I kept my cool. I went outside and it was so hot. I washed my face, then I soaked this towel. So but one thing I would say which I did wrong was I did all these 100 mocks, but I did it at the comfort of my home. So I did not sit at an actual coaching institute for the exam, for prelims, before the actual exam.
तो जो आपने अभ्यास किया था वो मेंस के लिए
मेंस के लिए किया था, या नॉट फॉर प्रीलिम्स, एंड डिड नॉट फिल दोज OMR sheet also. And so when I was right, so I tick marked in the question paper only that okay ये सही आंसर, ये सही आंसर है. Then फिर I felt short of time. It's like I have to fill the whole OMR sheet now.
और OMR में आपने कब क्वेश्चन नंबर 15
Yeah.
का आंसर क्वेश्चन नंबर 16 में लिखना स्टार्ट कर दिया?
You don't come to know, and then you start panicking because only half an hour was left. So I started panicking कि हो पाएगा या नहीं हो पाएगा. Am I taking too much time in filling? So I would definitely suggest this to.
और फिर वो भी तो कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं ना कि when we are circling, so whether the machine will detect it or not,
Yeah.
and then we overdo it,
Then we
and then we
overdo
get
it.
confused अगर वो सर्कल के बाहर चला जाता है, then we get tensed.
Yeah,
in that,
exactly.
कि ये सर्कल के बाहर चला गया,
Yeah.
इसको वैलिड माना जाएगा या
Yeah,
नहीं?
and these are the real exam problem that you feel in your head.
And no one talks about it.
No one talks about it, so that's why I'm saying that so the first attempters, please go to a coaching institute and fill the OMR sheet as well, क्योंकि your time management is according to those booklets, and
Exactly.
but all of this is also a very real thing, and rest so prelims was okay, but
और मैं इसमें एक और चीज़ ऐड करना चाहूँ, like the first prelims which I wrote, so I faced this very same problem, and the part where I felt tensed was when I'm filling the information part. Like in my time, like apart from the OMR, in the beginning we had to write our roll numbers, etc. So I had not attempted any test series. So when I was writing that, I became a little conscious that I'm putting my roll number correctly, or I'm putting this thing correctly, that thing correctly. तो वो मतलब एक्चुअली एग्जामिनेशन टेम्परामेंट बहुत ज़्यादा क्रिटिकल होता है, और वहाँ पे अभी बात करने में कुछ नहीं लग रहा कि रोल नंबर ही तो लिखना है, बट पता नहीं उस टाइम पे ना एक ऐसा हो जाता है कि एंड बाई चांस अगर वहाँ पे कोई पेन का वो मतलब स्पेलिंग अपने नाम तो नहीं लिखना होता, शायद अपने रोल नंबर का कुछ स्पेलिंग, वो छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हैं इस तरह से हो जाता है कि वेदर इट इज़ लेजिबल, वो 5 ऐसे लिखा है या फिर ऐसे लिखा है, एस तो नहीं लिखा है, स्मॉल थिंग्स.
I took vision अभ्यास, and that helped me a lot because I came to know कि 12 बजे मेरा कितना सिर दुखेगा मुझे, and then फिर I'll have to revise it again. If I go without revision, like I tried to go without revision, so I felt completely blank in the paper. So I realized कि no, in those 2 hours I have to revise GS2. I have to shift my focus, because in GS1 you're about history, it's about geography, GS2 about polity, and then फिर वो articles you have to revise so that you can produce it. अब वहाँ पे अब prelims में तो they are asking you articles, so चलो ठीक है, you can write it, you can take mark it, but in mains you have to produce it, so you have to remember everything. So
But that is like, it would have become very tough for you. Or were you like, because of the test series, you were like ready for it? Because if like you begin at what, 9 a.m., the first exam is at 9 a.m. So basically it becomes what, 3 hours, 8 hours of continuous mental work along with writing.
right.
That's very taxing.
Yeah, it is very taxing. It is very grilling, and so because of vision abhyas, I knew that this would happen to me.
Okay.
So I was prepared for it, and and then it also gives you mental satisfaction कि okay, in that pressure you can write. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कांप जाओगे. So that is there. Then I would like to share this incident that how taxing it gets. I wrote GS3, the actual exam paper, and so I walked out of the exam hall and I cried incessantly. I cried for 2 hours. I did not stop because I felt like I had such a bad paper. But then I realized that everybody got bad marks in it because the paper was tough. But in that time, you have no one to talk to.
And you don't come to know that.
You don't come to know कि आपका अच्छा गया या किसी और का अच्छा गया. So those 2 hours I cried incessantly, and then I was like, I don't want to give this exam. I want to go back home. But then you have to maintain your cool. And I would thank my sister. She was there with me. She kept pushing me, no, give this exam at least. And then I went into GS4. I washed my face and I was like, this is moral science paper. कुछ नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, आराम से लिखो. And I scored the most in GS4 in ethics. After all that, after crying so much, so you never know. Yeah,
I get it. Figure.
Yeah. So that's how grilling it is, but it's sweet also. The more it pains, the more sweeter it gets.
Results.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and did your COVID happen around the time of your interview? So while preparing, were you able to get time for giving mocks, or or did your schedule get disturbed because of the COVID thing?
I was fortunate that my interview happened on March 20th, and after that, UPSC suspended all the interviews. So thankfully, I didn't have to study more. I could just end the process at then and there. But I did attend mocks. I almost attended 6 to 7 mocks interviews before the actual interview, and mocks help a lot because वही आपकी anxiety जो है वो temper down हो जाती है. You come to know how you actually perform, and now most of the coaching institutes record it, so then you can reflect upon it, and then the feedback that you get, and such learned and experienced bureaucrats come in institutes. Like I attended Vision Cut, I gave 3 mocks, and so I got such invaluable feedback from them on how should I conduct, where my preparation is lacking, what are they expecting out of me. So that mocks help a lot, and you should definitely take benefit of them. I attended almost 3 to 4 institutes mocks, and they give you it's like a rehearsal. You're prepared कि अब यही होगा.
But from my experience, मतलब every student is different. But from my experience, I also attended mocks. But when I entered into UPSC for my first interview, that was totally different story. I mean, because the tension is real.
The tension.
In that case, the results are going to
The
be
heart
real.
is in your hand.
Yeah.
Like literally, I could feel like my whole body is pounding. I was like, heartbeat यहाँ है, पैरों पे कहाँ है, everything. I'm vibrating.
So, how was your interview? Any memories from the interview where you felt that you gave a really good answer, or where you felt that I've screwed up, or like how it was, how long it was?
I prepared almost 500 to 600 questions for interview, like preempted that these many questions would be asked. None of it was asked. It was so random. It was so random. My option is political science. I was asked economics questions. Then I had to politely tell the board that I have studied economics, but only till 12th.
Okay.
My option is political science.
So too many questions came on economics.
Yeah, but still the questions kept on economics only. Then you can't say it again and again. They're cordial. They're very nice to you. They would not. It's not like how they show it on YouTube वगैरह आपको कुछ भी ऐसे पूछ रहे हैं. मतलब they're cordial. They're very nice people. They'll make you comfortable. But yeah, the questions, my experience was totally random. Like there were random questions asked to me. I hail from Kota, Rajasthan, so I thought I extensively prepared on Rajasthan histories, Kota's histories, but I was asked Ladakh's history.
Okay.
So it was very random. But if you don't know, you can't know every answer to the question. So you have to politely refuse.
So tell me for example, question number 1, you don't know the answer. Question number 2, you don't know the answer. Question number 3, you don't know the answer. Question number 4, pressure building, you do not know the answer. So I don't, in my opinion, you cannot have that approach that sorry sir, I don't know. Sorry sir, I don't know. Sorry sir, I don't know. Because then the conversation will become very awkward. So did you navigate through the questions or you flatly refused that I don't know? Like how it was?
No, if I didn't knew that there were questions like how many districts Ladakh have, now I can't have a
On
wild
factual,
guess.
on factual, yes, but
Yeah.
on opinionated
No,
questions.
of course, on opinionated, if they are asking you what's your opinion on it, then you have to give your opinion. You
You
can't.
cannot say, sir, I don't have an
Yeah,
opinion.
you can't be a clueless person. They'll be like, कर क्यों रहे हो फिर? So ऐसा नहीं है. But on factual questions, like a lot of factual questions were asked to me. So to which I knew 50% I knew answers of them, 50% I didn't. So I politely had to refuse. There's no, but I didn't make myself feel like any lesser, because I think they test that. They test your personality. Are you refusing it confidently, or are you getting panicked just because you have refused answers to some questions? So you have to take it on the chin and just say yes. I don't know.
Not everyone is Cheteshwar Pujara, because in the recent test, he took like a lot of balls on the chin, right? So you are like Cheteshwar Pujara. I'll tell you my experience that under pressure, what can happen. So in my first interview, the board was asking me the questions, and gradually the pressure was increasing on me. And at one point of time, they asked me a very simple kind of a question, a hypothetical question, that imagine if you are a district magistrate and you have to deal with, let's say, floods in your district. Imagine how stupid one can be. I was under so much of pressure that I wanted to get out of the room. I said, sir, in my district, that is where I live, I got so much under pressure that I thought that they are talking about my district. and not some hypothetical district. इतना ज़्यादा एग्जामिनेशन टेम्परमेंट बिल्कुल उस टाइम पे कम था टेम्परमेंट, एंड आई सेड कि सर मेरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में कोई फ्लड की प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ये तो मतलब कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. एंड देन द चेयरमैन वाज मिस्टर विजय सिंह, एक्स होम सेक्रेटरी, एंड देन ही वाज लुकिंग एट मी लाइक दिस. इतना प्रेशर हो जाता है वहाँ पे, बिकॉज आपको ये लगता है कि जितनी भी आपने प्रिपरेशन करी है 2 साल की 3 साल की,
It's at stake.
वो स्टेक पे है.
Yeah, it is actually at stake. I scored 176 in my interview, and in all the mocks I was expecting above 190. So that came as a shock to me. But during the interview, I kept my calm and cool.
That's very important.
Yeah.
क्योंकि वो बहुत जरूरी है.
Yeah.
क्योंकि फिर आप ऐसी गलतियां कर देते हैं, मतलब आपके मतलब सडनली वो बहुत मैटर.
Yeah, a lot of random questions were asked me, like Russian, so USSR got disintegrated, so why it got disintegrated? Okay, I gave the answer. But then, so those, what are the political systems right now of those disintegrated countries? And in that pressure, I cannot even remember the name of those countries. You know, so much of freshness there on your. But I said of 3-4 countries, and then you politely said that this is only how much. How, and they cut you also. If you can give a decent enough answer for like 30 seconds, they cut you and then they move on to the next question. So it's, don't be so much. They're also people only. They're more learned than you.
Yes,
And
yes.
for them, you're like their children.
Yeah.
So stay cool, calm and cool.
Okay. And okay. In our conversation, you have mentioned about use of technology. For example, you talked about Evernote, right? And you have talked about internet a lot. So therefore, in the current scenario, like especially after your COVID, a lot of online platforms have come into picture. A lot of online, study material has come into picture. So a lot of YouTube channels are there, right? So therefore, the problem right now is problem of plenty. मतलब आज के टाइम पर अगर पे आप एक एस्पिरेंट हो तो इतना सब चॉइस है और इतना सब प्लेंटी है कि वो बहुत टफ है. तो उसके बारे में व्हाट यू वुड बी सजेस्टिंग टू द एस्पिरेंट्स कि आर देयर सम वैलिड सोर्सेज, सम वेरी गुड सोर्सेज की दीज वर माय 3 सोर्सेज, ऐसा कुछ, या फिर लाइक हाउ टू डील विद ऑल ऑफ दिस मटेरियल व्हिच इज कमिंग टू दिस.
Right. I had Vision Current Affairs as the source. Then Insight on India I used to refer. There's IS Baba newspaper. Some days they're decent, not that great, but it's still fine. And Sleepy Classes, they have a lot of videos on YouTube. So I referred them for Sleepy Classes.
Sleepy classes. You don't
Yeah.
feel sleepy while watching those classes?
They're very nice.
Right?
Yeah, they're really good. I referred to them for economics and environment and art and culture also. So these are the few sources that I refer to on internet.
Okay.
And yes, I like, you can gauge things like if the source is useful for you or not, and then take a calculative guess.
Will a bottom-up approach will be good? Bottom-up approach in the sense that instead of beginning with a YouTube channel or anything, while reading the traditional books, if you have doubt in a particular topic, maybe then you Google that particular topic. If you are able to find some documentary, I think that can give some direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
in this-
You have to complete your static course. So those books are irreplaceable. You have to do them, and then you can add on.
And in a very specific manner. For example, if I have a problem in knowing that what was the difference between imperialism and colonialism, like, okay, so then maybe I can go. I have a issue regarding Napoleon, right? Exactly what was Napoleon, what he was doing. So maybe then I can watch a documentary, a specific video. This bottom-up approach
Is more useful. There are videos of walks. There's John Green's World History. So all of these videos of
they
like
make
foreign
very
sources.
good animated videos.
Yeah,
right?
animated
Yeah.
movies. So all of these sources are good. And wherever you feel like there is lacking, and then you approach internet, as you said. So that's a better way to do it.
Okay.
But I feel like COVID should not impact people. Like, you should not feel disheartened that you cannot study in Rajendra Nagar, etc. Because I was completely under self-isolation. So I had my COVID time before actually
Okay.
COVID happening.
I hope you remain safe in all of this.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying analogy. I'm using the analogy,
Okay.
like those isolation everybody's saying. No, so I was completely underground for like during my preparation time. So it's fine. You can easily sail the ship without coaching institutes, but you should take help of them wherever you need it. So, but it's not necessary that you have to attend a classroom class
Okay.
to sail through UPSC.
Okay. Actually, जो मैं इससे एक और connected चीज़ है, there is a very fluid kind of a subject. Fluid in the sense that उसका कोई end नहीं है. Ethics, right? So, मतलब in ethics there are thinkers, right? So you can think in terms of thinkers. That thinkers, they are providing a set of boundary that this is my thing. So, and a lot of material it is available on the internet also. There are so many documentaries, on Nietzsche there will be a documentary, on other people there will be a documentary. So how did you approach ethics, and did you use internet for it, or are there, because if there are any specific sources for ethics, I would really like you to tell the aspirants. Otherwise, like, how did you manage ethics?
So there's a lexicon book everybody suggested. I found it very jargon based,
Okay.
so I didn't read it. The Michael Sandel's Justice show is there on YouTube. It's good for ethics, so I used that. Then I referred to Topper's answers as to get the idea of case studies, because that's very important. Then Paul Science also help. We get help from Paul Science because we read a lot of thinkers already. Then, as I told you, essay preparation, during essay you come to know of many quotes and etc. There's a Britannica website. I refer that for ethics.
Okay.
They have different specific terminology के बीच में difference etc. Dhananjay Yadav sir, he's an IFS officer, so he has given notes on ethics, so they are very good. Anudeep Durishitty sir's notes on ethics are good. So these were my primarily they were my primary sources.
Yeah, with this much you will be able to get a base. आपको एक base मिल जाएगा.
Right.
Okay.
And attempt a lot of questions on case studies especially, and use your common sense and develop that ethical side of yourself naturally, so that it comes apne aap in the paper.
So Anjali, I think it has been a very up-down journey for you, because when the results they came out for the first time, your name was not in it. How did you feel?
So I remember I was in the other room, and then as the result came, I rushed into my parents' room, and I did this Control F, typed my name, nahi tha. दूसरी बार typed my name, nahi tha. So I took it काफ़ी calmly. I was like, it's okay, it's just an exam. Many people fail, many people pass. So I was pretty okay with it, but I think I saw the drop on my parents' face, and that felt bad to me. Rest all of these 5 months when the second list did not come into being, obviously this thought was there in my mind continuously, that I missed it by such less marks, and you can't go on to explain everybody that you had the caliber for it, but you missed it by this such little marks. So you feel that dejection is there, and I can totally relate to all the students who feel this dejection. That is why I keep stressing that it's just an exam. Even those people who pass it, they should also keep stressing it's just an exam. You have not done such a big deal about it. Don't make such a big deal about it, because there are other people also who've not cleared it. So they feel much pressure because everybody else around them makes such a big deal about it. So it's an exam where many people pass, many people fail. It's a fact of life.
But I mean, trust me, it is a commendable achievement that you are in the list in the first attempt. I mean, the interview is about you, not about me, but I'll give you my example. I gave 3 attempts. In my first attempt, I was not in the list. In my second attempt, I was not in the list. Okay, in my third attempt, yes, I was. Right? So therefore, it is indeed a very great achievement. And
yeah,
so
it
you
feels
should be,
great.
yeah, you should be proud of it, and that up and down that's there. So, and एक और चीज़ है, no rank one knows before the results come out that he or she is going to be a rank
Absolutely.
one. Right? So once you are in the list, that means you are equal to everyone in the list.
Yeah, because everybody has put in the same pain and sweat to get into the list.
A lot of luck factor is there.
A lot of luck factor
People
is
used to
there.
say that, or even still say that one of my guide said it that see in UPSC it is like 100% efforts and 100% lucks, right? So it is a
True.
200% game.
True.
And even then, I think it was not a very calm journey for you because nowadays this advent of social media is there and a lot of rumors they take place. There's something called trolling which has come into picture, and I think in the recent past you have went through that. So how was the experience? Did you learn something from it? How did you deal with it?
Yes, I think it was a good experience in
Okay.
the same way that I learned a lot from it. I learned how to take criticism and a lot of criticism, which is unfound criticism. And and then I realized eventually that you can only be honest to yourself. And there's only as much as you can prove. You can't go around to prove everybody. Everybody has a different way of looking at things. Even if there are facts which just debunk everything, yet they will think what they want to. And that matured me as a person. That matured me, I think that prepared me for all the pressures that I would experience as a bureaucrat in the coming time. And it made me feel like it made me more stronger. It made me true to myself. It made me realize that all the people near me and dear to me, they believed in me, and that just gave that required confidence and that required love. And yeah, it just matured me, and I felt like you can only be true to yourself, and that just made my resolve even more stronger, that I have to be honest with myself at every point of time. I should satisfy myself. I should be at par to myself. In my eyes, I should be completely honest.
I am remembering a quote. It says, and it's a very famous quote. I don't know who authored it, but it's like anything which does not breaks you makes you
Makes you
stronger.
stronger. Yeah,
So I'm
absolutely.
very glad that you emerge stronger, and I'm sure that when you enter into the field, it will come in very handy, and you'll be able to deal with things in a much better way.
Hopefully. Thank
Turned out to
you.
be a matured, much more mature person,
Thank
right?
you.
Because that's great actually. So Anjali, it was really great interacting with you.
It was
Just
great.
one last thing, any message that you would want to give to your viewers, that is the aspirants, regarding like in a nutshell, some message, anything.
Give your best. Don't think that you can't do it. Everybody can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And just give your 200% into the exam. Don't regret. Don't think that ye reh gaya tha, wo reh gaya tha. So that is why give your 100%, 200%. Set your own course. Be the captain of your own ship, and you'll be able to crack it.
Great.
Thank you so much. It
Thank you
was
so much for your
great.
time, Anjali,
It
and
was
have
great.
a very safe journey. You have had a safe journey of COVID till now. I hope that in future also your health remains great. Thank you so
Thank you
much for
so
your
much.
time.
And many thanks to the Vision team.
Thank you.
Thank you.